gentlemen, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Justin here. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me. And I cannot go any further in this video without saying thank you to each and every single one of you guys for supporting this Midnight Mass series. When I started this series, I had no idea what the response was going to be, if anybody would be interested in watching these videos, and a lot of you have. The support has been amazing. Thank you so much. I can't even begin to tell you how much fun I have had discussing in the comments with every single one of you guys theories and ideas and just discussing the show, going on this journey from episode to episode. It's been an absolute blast. And not only that, but there is a bunch of new people who have joined the channel, who have found the channel through the Midnight Mass series. You guys are all amazing. I also ask you guys, the new subscribers, please stick around. I encourage you to stick around after the Midnight Mass series. I have so much fun stuff planned through October. We're going to be talking about classic movies like The Craft and Hocus Pocus and Teen Witch and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, as well as new movies. There's a bunch of amazing new movies that are going to be coming to streaming. Of course, we have the new Halloween movie. If by chance you're new to horror and maybe Midnight Mass is the first time you're dipping your toes into the genre, I highly encourage you to stick around and see what this community has to offer. It really is something else. It's like nothing else out there. Everybody getting excited about the next new movie and discussing theories and talking about physical media and toys and collectibles. There's a whole world that you probably didn't even know existed to people who weren't aware of the horror community, especially here on YouTube. So anyway, I just had to get that out of the way. I'm being really nerdy right now, but I really do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for going on this Midnight Mass journey, one of the most incredible shows I have ever seen, and I can't wait to dive into it even deeper. So, all right, I hope that wasn't too extra, but I really do appreciate you guys. Now, let's get on with the video, and let's talk about Midnight Mass Episode 6, Act of the Apostles, and that evil bitch Bev Keane. That's not part of the title, but damn, she's an evil bitch. All right, guys, here we go again with just another mind-blowing episode, just standard at this point, another mind-blowing episode of Midnight Mass. I don't know how Mike Flanagan did that. The writing in this episode in particular is packed with so many emotional moments. You have sad moments, you have terrifying moments. This episode really had it all. Everything that we've come to expect from an episode of Midnight Mass, we got in episode 6, and even more. They upped the ante with the horror, the disturbing cult stuff. We have also, as per usual, just heart-wrenching, gripping character moments. We have it all. I can't think of a better place to begin today than, well, the beginning. Let's start at the very beginning of the episode, which actually picks up right from the end of episode 5, and that same moment on the boat with Aaron and Riley. If you guys remember the episode 5 where it just cut to black and all you could hear were Aaron's just horrific screams, that was just, oh, that was horrible. R.I.P. Riley. Pour one out for our boy Riley. He's up there shining. You're my boy, Blue.
You're my boy, Blue! You're my boy.
So the opening few minutes of this was just really harrowing, and I thought Katie Siegel did an incredible job. We have that really tough scene when Aaron goes to the Flynn house, talks to Riley's mom, who is just still completely in the dark as to what the hell is going on in this town. Aaron urges her to please, we got to get the hell out of here. Riley's dead, and we have to leave. And of course that's met with anger. She doesn't want to believe it. They have the big Easter thing. Why the hell would we leave? We have this amazing Midnight Mass tonight. She's forced to leave, but she has to find somebody who believes her. And this episode is really interesting because you have two distinct groups of people who are both fighting for what they believe to be true, what they know to be true in their own minds. You have Aaron and Dr. Gunning, which we'll get into, who know the truth, they know what's happening, who actually know the evil that's overtaking their town, but they are completely outnumbered by Bev Keane and fucking Crazy Town over here, who believe they're ready for the second coming and they're about to have eternal life, not knowing that they're worshiping an ancient vampire who's gonna fucking suck all their blood and have basically turned into a death cult. And both sides believe they are absolutely right and just, but only one side can be right. It's astonishing what people will do for belief and faith, even if they have no idea if what they're believing in is true or real. It's a scary thing, and we'll get into the whole cult aspect a little bit later in this episode. This is going to be a deep one, guys. This is going to be like episode 3, where we're really going deep. Moving on in the episode, after being turned away by Riley's family, Aaron then goes to Dr. Gunning. Dr. Gunning doesn't think she's crazy. They both have their come to Jesus moment together, so to speak, when they realize it's the blood, the source of people exploding, the source of Riley igniting in the sun. Makes a lot of sense, as it's the blood. Ultimately, that's what's causing the exploding person factor issue. Now they realize that something up is going on and they have to do something about it. And they come to the conclusion that it's the blood that causes people to ignite. That's what's happened to Riley. That's why he exploded in the sun. He had such a high concentration of this vampire blood that's what caused him to ignite. So with that newfound information, they know they're both not crazy, and now it's their job to sort of save the town. But they soon realize that nobody's going to listen to him. The cult has grown too deep. Most of the town will be beyond being saved. At the same time, we now have the Flynn family, who have all received letters from Riley, R.I.P.
You're my boy, Blue!
The poor dad doesn't know what the hell to do but to bring these to Monsignor Pruitt. The sad thing being that Riley's dad, of course, doesn't know that he's talking to a fucking vampire who already knows all this shit. Now Monsignor Pruitt, it's becoming clearer and clearer that they have to show the miracle to the town. So hence Midnight Mass, where they're finally going to unveil the angel. Of course, we know it's just an ancient vampire. Also here we have a pretty interesting exchange between Monsignor Pruitt and Bev Keane as they have a conversation about free will. Monsignor Pruitt, without even hearing the news, he already knew Riley was dead. He felt it. They share the same blood. He knew he was dead. And in this conversation, Monsignor Pruitt expresses his sadness and disappointment for what Riley did. He felt by killing himself, he completely negated a gift that came directly from God. And in this conversation, they both talk about the deep disappointment and sadness somebody can have having to watch somebody they love make bad decisions. And from this conversation comes one of the most, in my opinion, memorable quotes of the entire show so far. It comes from Bev Keane. "The heartbreak you must feel at his choice, how must God feel for the world?" That quote, for some reason, just really stood out to me, and I wanted to highlight it. And then from there, we have a pretty significant scene in the sheriff's office with Dr. Gunning imploring the sheriff to investigate the church, and he tells this big, long explanation for why he feels like he just simply can't. He had to leave somewhere else where he was ostracized and accused of being something that he wasn't, and he just does not want to go through it again. So he basically tells her, I ain't doing shit. I'm not going to investigate this and be an enemy in my own town. It was a pretty sad little scene there. All right, guys, now it's time to dive into all of the craziest shit in this episode, and that's all of the Midnight Mass stuff that's been building and building the last couple episodes. Monsignor Pruitt and Bev Keane have now officially decided that tonight is the night when all secrets will be revealed, all miracles will be revealed, all vampires will be revealed in church to the rest of the town. Everybody will be able to accept their great miracle that's ahead of them. We see that ahead of this event that all kinds of precautions have been made to make sure that nobody leaves the island, that everybody attends Midnight Mass tonight. They've sabotaged the ships so nobody can go to the mainland. Not only will they sabotage the boats so they can't get to the mainland, they're also cutting power to the entire island. We're getting close to a point of no return here for this town. And how amazing, guys, and how eerie is that sequence of Bev Keane leading all of these followers to the church at night by candlelight, singing that song. Oh my God. The feeling of suspense and dread and just ominous terror as they walk down to the church. The town is completely oblivious to the fact that they already have this ancient vampire's blood coursing through their veins, and they have no idea what's in store for them. Everybody being seated by candlelight in the dark at Midnight Mass as Monsignor Pruitt basically lays it all out on the table. Town is of course shocked to learn that Monsignor Pruitt is now de-aged. Then it's revealed to them that his plan for everybody is to drink poison, die, and be resurrected. All of the poison cups are revealed. You have people freaking out. Poor little Lisa is crying. She's sad as shit. The look of bewilderment as everybody looks around in disbelief is pretty crazy. But then we get the craziest thing of all, and that is when everybody finally is able to see our vampire. And what an amazing sequence. What an incredible sequence of him walking up to the altar, spreading his wings. Everybody becomes absolutely fucking terrified. It's amazing when you think of how devout all these people are who look for demons and everything, that when an actual demon is standing right in front of them, they don't realize it because they are so sucked in. In an act of good faith, if you will, Sturge drinks the poison, seemingly dies in front of everybody, and then is resurrected. So everybody kind of believes this isn't bullshit at this point, and people are actually willing to drink this poison. After everybody is convinced and everybody drinks their poison and dies and starts coming back, the episode completely descends into absolute insanity. If you still had any doubt so far that this was a vampire show, all that doubt is completely gone now, because it just descends into a complete vampire massacre. It's insane. I love the way the eyes look, the little reflection in the eyes. So eerie. Father Paul is shot in the head. Of course, he doesn't die. Bev Keane gets shot. Bev Keane's true cowardice is exposed when you find that she hid from all of the insanity that was going on in the church. She locks herself in the back room like a coward. Aaron obliges her when Bev Keane says, "Why don't you just shoot me?" And that gives them a few minutes to escape. Kind of a bummer that Riley's parents get separated. But from then on, the episode really just ends with them opening the church doors, letting everybody escape, while Bev Keane says, "How else will the gospel spread?" Knowing that she is fully ready for whatever this is to take over the entire world, for this vampire insanity to spread to the entire world. What an insane episode. What a cliffhanger as the doors open. Not good. We are now at the point of no return. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention after watching this episode is the Jonestown Massacre. I feel like you can't watch this episode and not be reminded of this, because I think it's just a heavily influenced aspect of the show when you talk about cults. The People's Temple Church and Jim Jones and the Jonestown Massacre. One of the most horrific events in human history, really, when you really think about it. Over 900 people died in a mass murder called revolutionary suicide, as coined by Jim Jones. I highly encourage everybody to watch a documentary, learn about this if you can, but it was absolutely horrific, and the scene that plays out in that church was not too different as to what happened in real life. In fact, there's a 44-minute audio recording of the Jonestown Massacre. It's pretty disturbing to listen to, but according to one escaped temple member, Odell Rhodes, the first to take the poison were Rouletta Paul and her 1-year-old infant. The poison caused death within 5 minutes for children, less for babies, and an estimated 20 to 30 minutes for adults.
I call on you to quit exciting your children when all they're doing is going to quiet rest.
After consuming the poison, according to Rhodes, people were then escorted away down a wooden walkway leading outside to a pavilion. It's not clear if some initially thought the exercise was another White Night rehearsal. Rhodes reported being in close contact with dying children.
Children aren't crying from pain. It's just a little bitter tasting, but they're not crying out of any pain.
Jim Jones is on record saying, "Die with a degree of dignity. Lay down your life with dignity. Don't lay down with tears and agony." He also said, "I tell you, I don't care how many screams you hear. I don't care how many anguish cries. Death is 1,000,000 times preferable to 10 more days of this life."
I tell you, I don't care how many screams you hear. I don't care how many anguish cries. Death is 1,000,000 times preferable to 10 more days of this life. If you knew what was ahead of you, you'd be glad to be stepping over tonight.
If you knew what was ahead of you, you'd be glad stepping over tonight. Witnesses described the scene of both hysteria and confusion as parents watched their children die from the poison. This crowd was surrounded by armed guards, offering members the basic dilemma of death by poison or death by a guard's hand. Cries and screams of children and adults were easily heard on the tape recording made. As more temple members died, eventually the guards themselves were called in to die by the poison. Groupthink can be a terrifying thing when people are left to their own crazy devices, so stay away from cults, kiddos, all right? We have one more episode to recap. I can't wait to do that. I'm sad to see this series come to an end, but it's been quite a ride. So guys, I think we're done here. Thank you so much. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I will see you in the next one.